The Lord said to Moses, Go up into this mountain of Abarim, and see the land which I have given to the sons of Israel. And when you have seen it, you also shall be gathered to your people, as your brother Aaron was gathered, because you rebelled against my word in the wilderness of Zin, during the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the waters before their eyes. These are the waters of Meribah of Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. Moses said to the Lord, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, appoint a man over the congregation, who shall go out before them, and come in before them, who shall lead them out and bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord may not be as sheep which have no shepherd. And the Lord said to Moses, Take Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand upon him. Cause him to stand before Eleazar the priest and all the congregation, and you shall commission him in their sight. You shall invest him with some of your authority, that all the congregation of the sons of Israel may obey. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire for him by the judgment of the Urim before the Lord. At his word they shall go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the sons of Israel with him, the whole congregation. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and caused him to stand before Eleazar the priest, and the whole congregation, and he laid his hands upon him, and commissioned him, as the Lord directed, through Moses. The Lord said to Moses, Command the sons of Israel, and say to them, My offering, my food for my offerings by fire, my pleasing odor, you shall take heed to offer to me in its due season. And you shall say to them, This is the offering by fire which you shall offer to the Lord. 2 male lambs a year old without blemish, day by day, as a continual offering. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer in the evening. Also 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a cereal offering, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering, which was ordained at Mount Sinai for a pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord. Its drink offering shall be 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. In the holy place you shall pour out a drink offering of strong drink to the Lord. The other lamb you shall offer in the evening, like the cereal offering of the morning, and like its drink offering you shall offer it as an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. On the Sabbath day, 2 male lambs a year old without blemish, and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a cereal offering, mixed with oil, and its drink offering. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, besides the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. At the beginnings of your months you shall offer a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish, also 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a cereal offering, mixed with oil, for each bull, and 2/10 of fine flour for a cereal offering, mixed with oil, for the 1 ram, and 1/10 of fine flour mixed with oil, as a cereal offering for every lamb, for a burnt offering of pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord. Their drink offerings shall be 1/2 a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering of each month throughout the months of the year. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering to the Lord. It shall be offered besides the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 14th day of the first month is the Lord's Passover, and on the 15th day of this month is a feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work, but offer an offering by fire, a burnt offering to the Lord. 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old. See that they are without blemish. Also their cereal offering of fine flour mixed with oil. 3/10 of an ephah shall you offer for a bull, and 2/10 for a ram. 1/10 shall you offer for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, to make atonement for you. You shall offer these besides the burnt offering of the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. In the same way you shall offer daily for 7 days the food of an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. It shall be offered besides the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. And on the 7th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. On the day of the first fruits, when you offer a cereal offering of new grain to the Lord, at your feast of weeks, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work, but offer a burnt offering, a pleasing odor to the Lord. 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old. Also their cereal offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for 1 ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat to make atonement for you. Besides the continual burnt offerings and its cereal offering, you shall offer them and their drink offering. See that they are without blemish. On the first day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work. It is a day for you to blow the trumpets, and you shall offer a burnt offering, a pleasing odor to the Lord. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old, without blemish. Also their cereal offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat for a sin offering, to make atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering of the new moon, and its cereal offering, and the continual burnt offering and its cereal offering, and their drink offering, according to the ordinance for them, a pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord. On the 10th day of this 7th month you shall have a holy convocation, and afflict yourselves. You shall do no work, but you shall offer a burnt offering to the Lord, a pleasing odor, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old. They shall be to you without blemish. And their cereal offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering and its cereal offering, and their drink offerings. On the 15th day of the 7th month you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work, and you shall keep a feast to the Lord 7 days. And ye shall offer a burnt offering, an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old. They shall be without blemish. And their cereal offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its cereal offering, and its drink offering. On the 2nd day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, without blemish, with the cereal offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and its cereal offering, and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, without blemish, with the cereal offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by number, according to their ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and its cereal offering and its drink offering. On the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, without blemish, with the cereal offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its cereal offering, and its drink offering. On the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, without blemish, with the cereal offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering and its cereal offering and its drink offering. On the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, without blemish, with the cereal offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its cereal offering, and its drink offerings. On the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old, without blemish, with the cereal offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its cereal offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a solemn assembly. You shall do no laborious work, but ye shall offer a burnt offering, an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish, and the cereal offering, and the drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs by number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and its cereal offering, and its drink offering. These you shall offer to the Lord at your appointed feasts, in addition to your votive offerings and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your cereal offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. And Moses told the sons of Israel everything just as the Lord had commanded Moses. To the choirmaster, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O God, in my complaint. Preserve my life from dread of the enemy. Hide me from the secret plots of the wicked, from the scheming of evildoers, who whet their tongues like swords, who aim bitter words like arrows, shooting from ambush at the blameless, shooting at him suddenly and without fear. They hold fast to their evil purpose. They talk of laying snares secretly, thinking, who can see us? Who can search out our crimes? We have thought out a cunningly conceived plot. For the inward mind and heart of a man are deep. But God will shoot his arrow at them. They will be wounded suddenly. Because of their tongue he will bring them to ruin. All who see them will wag their heads. Then all men will fear. They will tell what God has wrought, and ponder what he has done. Let the righteous rejoice in the Lord, and take refuge in him. Let all the upright in heart glory. And Sadducees came to him, who say that there is no resurrection. And they asked him a question, saying, Teacher, Moses wrote for us that if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife, but leaves no child, the man must take the wife and raise up children for his brother. There were 7 brothers. The first took a wife, and when he died left no children. And the second took her and died, leaving no children. And the third likewise. And the 7 left no children. Last of all, the woman also died. In the resurrection, whose wife will she be? For the 7 had her as wife. Jesus said to them, Is not this why you are wrong, that you know neither the Scriptures nor the power of God? For when they rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. And as for the dead being raised, have you not read in the book of Moses, in the passage about the bush, how God said to him, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not God of the dead, but of the living. You are quite wrong. And one of the scribes came up, and heard them disputing with one another, and seeing that he answered them well, asked him, Which commandment is the first of all? Jesus answered, The first is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. And the scribe said to him, You are right, teacher. You have truly said that he is one, and there is no other but he. And to love him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the strength, and to love one's neighbor as oneself, is much more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. And when Jesus saw that he answered wisely, he said to him, You are not far from the kingdom of God. And after that, no one dared to ask him any question. And as Jesus taught in the temple, he said, How can the scribes say that the Christ is the son of David? David himself, inspired by the Holy Spirit, declared, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right hand, till I put your enemies under your feet. David himself calls him Lord, so how is he his son? And the great throng heard him gladly. And in his teaching he said, Beware of the scribes, who like to go about in long robes, and to have salutations in the marketplaces, and the best seats in the synagogues, and the places of honor at feasts, who devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. They will receive the greater condemnation. And he sat down opposite the treasury, and watched the multitude putting money into the treasury. Many rich people put in large sums, and a poor widow came, and put in 2 copper coins, which make a penny. And he called his disciples to him, and said to them, Truly I say to you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the treasury. For they all contributed out of their abundance, but she out of her poverty has put in everything she had, her whole living. The psalmist complains of those who whet their tongues like swords, who aim bitter words like arrows. Their verbal attack is an ambush, a trap. In the Gospel, Jesus faces a series of such traps. In yesterday's reading, Jesus responds to the ambush of the Pharisees and Herodians, who try to paint him as either an idolater or a threat to the Roman government. Today, Jesus answers the challenges of the Sadducees and a scribe. One by one, Jesus bests his attackers. Jesus' verbal victories strikingly match the promise of God's defeat of slanderers in Psalm chapter 64, verses 7 through 9. This shouldn't surprise us, for Jesus is the divine Son of God as well as the Messiah, the Son of David, which is why David himself calls the Christ Lord. Turning back to our reading from Numbers, we see Israel continuing preparations to settle in the Promised Land. Moses appoints Joshua to succeed him as leader, and the liturgical feasts that govern the rhythm of Israel's worship are described. But even good and important things, like a strong leader or regular worship, will only bear fruit if the final goal is remembered: love of God and neighbor. Are all of your thoughts, words, and deeds directed to love of God and others? How can you grow in this love today?